Outside the Box Reviews, Predator Week continues, and today we are looking at the NECA Predators Wave 13, the second Kenner Tribute Wave, and this is Cracked Tusk Predator. And I gotta say, when I heard they were doing Cracked Tusk Predator, I got very excited. And then I saw this Predator, and I'm like, wait, who the hell is that? I had confused Cracked Tusk here with Broken Tusk, and you can kind of see where my confusion came from. But Broken Tusk is the main Predator from the Dark Horse Alien vs. Predator comics, and then I remembered NECA was doing a Kenner line and not a Dark Horse line, so this guy was actually based off an action figure, which is also a repaint of the Lava Planet Predator, so the NECA version does share a lot of similarities with that release from the last Kenner Tribute series. The Lava Planet Predator was probably my least favorite from that first line of Kenner Tributes, so I'm interested to see how this version stacks up. Now, the Cracked Tusk Predator is using the Predator 2 City Hunter body, or the Lost Tribe body, so he comes with some Lost Tribe style accessories. We get the Smart Disc here, nice gold paint job with the silver outside on. I actually like the contrast going on with this piece. Some great detail, same piece we've gotten a lot before. Unfortunately, the hands he comes with, he doesn't really have the disc gripping hand. I kind of forced his fingers into it for the opening of the video, but the hand to hold the disc is actually a more kind of closed hand that would slide into those finger slots a bit better, and he comes with a wide open hand. Cracked Tusk also comes with his Combi Stick, which seems like it's showing its age. Now, the other versions of this I have seem pretty well done, but this one is actually really flimsy right here in the middle, and it kind of bends and warps, so that's a bit of a downside. I was wondering at first, I thought they had made a version with the single-carded City Hunter, which I never actually picked up because I had them from the 2-pack, that would actually retract in on itself, and I thought maybe this was that reused, but it isn't. It's just the standard fully extended version. Not a big deal though, but it is nicely detailed. Once again, bringing that gold paint with the silver throughout, kind of a grayish, gunmetal-y, greenish even section here in the center. Outside of the warpage issues, it's the same accessory we've gotten before. That's very nicely done. And Cracked Tusk here is very much nothing new. Just like Scavenge before him, there's no new sculpting on this figure. This is actually almost a complete 100% reuse of the body that was done for the Lava Planet Predator, which was in turn mostly the standard City Hunter body. The main new tooling on that figure consisted of the mask and the claw down here, and there was an interesting swap out on the Lava Planet of using the Predator style plasma caster instead of the Predator 2 version, but here we have the Predator 2 version back on the body. Done in a nice silver, however. Mine's very stiff. I actually tried to move it and actually snapped before it would actually slide through the channel here on the side of his armor. So I would be very careful with yours. It's actually the one place on any of these new Predators that I've had an issue with joints being stiff. So it's a pretty minor problem. All the rest of the joints on all three of the ones from this series have actually been superb. So I do have to give NECA props on that one. Their quality control from their factory seems to be getting a little bit better. But I'm getting ahead of myself talking about the plasma caster. Let's talk about that mask. And I really do like the look of it. It's a very creepy looking mask. It kind of reminds me a bit of Darth Vader with the vents up here in the front. I love the red eyes on it. Almost like they're retained over from the Lava Planet Predator with that red color there. Mask is mostly silver, but we do have these goldish coppery highlights, and they look really nice. There's some great sculpted detail up here in the top, and despite the fact that we've gotten this mask before, last time we got it, it was done in a translucent plastic. So it's almost kind of nice to get it now fully painted, to see all the little bits of detail on it. A sculpt can be great, but without a good paint job applied to it, a lot of the details actually don't stand out quite as nicely as they might otherwise. We even get a little glimpse of his flesh tone underneath, and then we get his dreadlocks, standard Predator 2 dreadlocks coming through here. Gold here at the top with the jewels, and then silver beads down the rest of them. Very nice and movable dreadlocks on this one. None of the sticking issues I had with Scavenge. The body itself, once again, we've seen it before. The armor is done in a very nice silver. I always like that there's ties here on the side of the armor. It's one of my favorite little details about NECA's sculpt here. Shoulder pads are nicely done. A lot of little pitted areas that make it look worn and actually made from metal instead of just being flat plastic. Skin tone is really nicely done as well. Very dark on the back and then lightens up on the front. I love all the little details back here. The med kit, just the overall design of this armor. It's one of those things. I've seen it so many times I've gotten kind of jaded to it, but it is very nicely done. We have the hose going from the back over to the claw here, which is a unique feature to this Kenner tribute body, and It's an interesting claw. I thought it was last time. It kind of looks like a big lobster claw. Very strange, but kind of cool. It doesn't stick out too terribly far when extended, but it has an effect to it. I almost feel like having this hose here makes it seem like it's pneumatically actuated or something instead of the standard retractable blade. Almost like it's a prototype of the later blade, because this character is apparently supposed to be an elder, which is interesting. We do have the open hand I talked about before. I kind of wish you would have come with a disc hand, but the open hand's always kind of cool for action poses. We get the gripping hand on this side to use with the Combi Stick. Loincloth is one of the different ones used from the Predator 2 line, where it covers up the disc pouch on the side with kind of extra bags. I think Shaman was the first to use this loincloth section. A little pouch there on the side. It's a nice green color, some nice texturing to it as well. We do get the Predator rubber butt underneath. I feel like I have to point that out, because I do every single time we get it. Upper leg armor, very nicely done. I kind of like the tiger stripes going down his legs. Knee pads, some nice ankle guards, and of course those classic Predator 2 bare feet. For articulation, we get a ball joint at the neck, goes up and down, side to side tilts, very good range of motion. Mine was actually a little stiff, and then I had to pull it off to fix the plasma caster, and putting it back on actually loosened it up a nice amount. I really can get a full range of articulation out of it. Now, of course, I hope you don't break your plasma caster in order to have to get this far, but maybe a little extra heat if the joint's stiff might loosen up enough so that you get a really good range of motion there. You do get pin socket shoulders and go out to the side, forward and back. You can hinge at the elbow, a little hindered by the big bulky gauntlet on it. You can also rotate, ball joint at the wrist. We have a ball joint at the waist with a pretty good range of motion. Pin socket legs go very far forward and back, out to the side. It's a little hindered on the one side because of the thickness of all the sculpting here, but on the opposite side it actually moves out pretty well. We have a leg rotation at the very top of the leg, double joint at the knee, and a very nicely done ball joint at the foot. And here is Cracked Tusk sitting next to the Lava Planet Predator, and as I said, very, very little different between these two bodies. Really, the main difference there is that plasma caster on the shoulder and the accessories they come with. But I am definitely liking this full color version of this body a lot more than I liked the translucent red. And quite honestly, if they put the Predator's plasma caster on Cracked Tusk, I wouldn't have minded at all. I actually kind of like that idea. So overall, I really can't explain why I like this figure as much as I do, but I actually really enjoy him. It might have something to do with the fact that I really disliked the first version of this Predator. I thought it was just kind of lame. I hated that he only had paint on the front of him, something that NECA does all too often with their translucent figures, in my opinion. I understand it's done so light can shine through, but I want a figure painted on all sides. And seeing this character fully realized with a very nice paint job and some very appealing colors, and to take another chance to admire this NECA Predator 2 figure buck, because we really haven't gotten this body as much lately. I mean, we haven't really gotten as many Predators lately, so maybe it's just the long time span in between waves and just not seeing the same body over and over and over again that makes me actually really enjoy revisiting what this figure has to offer. The articulation really is fantastic, and all the little sculpted details are what we expect from NECA. So this figure does get a very solid recommend. He's definitely not a must-own Predator. He won't be making my top 10 Predator list anytime soon, but he is thoroughly enjoyable, and I think very much worth picking up. Follow me on Instagram, username Outside the Box Reviews. Also check me out on Facebook, link below. And until next time, this has been our Outside the Box Reviews, and Predator Week continues next.